Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Warrior Way. I wanted to talk about something that happened with me the other day. I spent some time with a certain individual who happens to be very, 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 very wealthy, financially wealthy. He's got a lot of money, he's got a lot of real estate, owns a lot of properties. I knew him when I was younger. I bumped into him a couple times in the last month or so. And we ended up spending some time together, really talking a few hours, more than a few hours at this point. So I know a lot about him. He's a very generous guy, gives to his children, takes care of his children, and does a lot for them. And I was grateful to be around him. And it's funny because one of the things he said to me was that, I have so much, but it's not enough. I have to do more and more. I feel like I have to do more and more, and then constantly be doing to make sure that he has more and more. And he doesn't feel like it's enough. And he has a lot of personal property, a lot of real estate property, a lot of different things that he's invested in, to make sure that he's has a significant amount of wealth for him and his family and his children. And he takes care of everybody. A very big giver. I'm sure he gives a bunch of charity, and he does a lot of things to help out his various family members. And I was grateful to have been around that and to see what the world is about. You have a lot of money, and you can't use it all for yourself when you have so much at a certain point. Like, you have to learn to give it away, even to your family members, and those are the people that you're around a lot of the time, and that you can help out. And he said, I give to my family because I want to make sure make sure that they have an easy life, and that they can take care of themselves. And I was really thankful to hear that there are people out there that understand that that's really what we're here to do. We're here to help make the people around us have an easier life and less suffering and more enjoying. But he also said to me that that there's a sense of the kids being spoiled because of it, which I totally hear. That they might take it for granted, and they don't necessarily appreciate the way they should be appreciating it, which makes sense. Like, if you grow up with a lot of money, you necessarily don't necessarily appreciate uh, the little things in life, and you don't appreciate getting all this stuff because you're so used to getting it. And then, after all this conversation, he said to me something very interesting. He said, "You know what's funny?" He's like, "There's a line in the Bible that says "Hakol Hevel," which means everything is nothing." And he said, "It's so true." He said, "I have all these things." He's like, "I have one property I go to. You can't see the end of the property. That's how big it is." He's like, "I'm sitting there, I can't even see the end of the property." And I'm like, "Wow, what a big property I have." He's like, "All right, ready to go." He's like, "I'm there for 2 minutes and I'm ready to go. Like, I can't even sit there. I can't even enjoy it." And it's not. He's like, "I can have all these things and I can't even enjoy it." And I said to him, "Yeah," I'm like, "You deserve to enjoy. Like, you have all these things. Why don't you learn to just be, right? You're constantly being a human doing. You're constantly going, 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 chasing, chasing, chasing. Why don't you just be a human being?" That's exactly what I said to him. Like, I said, "I'm so grateful for people like you. You remind me to not be a human doing and to learn to be a human being." Like, I understand that life of chasing, chasing, chasing. And I said to myself, I can't do that anymore. I have to become a human being, someone who learns how to just be like a tree, living in the mystery of what's going to come next. And then you feel blessed. You let go of your stress. You let go of that mess, and you just start to be here now. You let go of what doesn't serve you. Doesn't mean you don't have to have. You know that you have whatever you have in this moment. You start to realize, if you have everything in this moment right now, like if you're full, you just ate a meal, then you're satiated. Whoa, then you're good, right? You just had a meal. If you have a roof over your head, just a roof over your head and food to eat, like, you're rich. And one of the things I said to him is, I wanted to learn um, to get to, like, I wanted to learn that, to be able to sit still in my boredom. That if you're bored, right? If anyone here is listening to this and you're bored, and maybe you're bored listening to me, or you're bored in what you're doing, and that's why you're here, or you're bored in life and you get bored, boredom means you're rich. If you could sit and watch a video like this, or create a video like this, like I'm doing right now, if you're able to do it, means you're rich, because you have the ability to sit here and nothing else going on, and just be able to sit and listen to this. Wow, or sit and do nothing, means you're rich, because you're means you're full. You don't need a meal, otherwise you'd be running around trying to get a meal, or trying to get a house, like, or a roof, over your head, something. And I said to him, like, I had to learn to be good with boredom. And he was saying, yeah, it's hard because if when you have all this stuff and you're constantly having all this stuff, you don't you don't give yourself a second to breathe. You don't give yourself a second to have free time. He was saying that he doesn't even go on he doesn't take himself away. He has all these personal properties and he doesn't go away enough. He doesn't spend time in these properties that he has across, whether it's in different countries, in the United States. He doesn't get to enjoy it because he's too busy trying to get to the next level or get to the next amount of money or get more and more and more and collect, as opposed to being able to sit and enjoy and reflect on what he's already collected, right? Like, why don't you sit and just be like, wow, I'm so thankful I have all this stuff. And for me, I just learn from others. I live in a community, I grew up in a community, I should say, and I still do live in a community that's pretty wealthy. I am not the wealthiest guy, at least at this moment, but I think I will be one day. But not wealthy in the sense of like this guy, like having accumulating all these things. Wealthy in the sense that I know I have it all in this moment. That I've been working on that. That I just have what I have, and that is wealthy. When you have what you have, and you have food, and you have a roof over your head, and you can do all the things you want to do, all the vacations you want to do, all the things you want to do, you are wealthy. But wealth is in the mind. Wealth is not in what you have. Wealth is in the understanding that if you're not here tomorrow, what does it matter? So people will say, oh, because I want to leave over for the next generation and have generational wealth. And I understand that. But again, you're not here. You're not here. So why don't you enjoy that now, like giving that over now, whatever you have to your children or to your loved ones to be able to help or give over to people that really need food and need shelter and these kinds of things to be able to give in that way to help people live the life that you're living, at least to what you're capable of. Sometimes we can't give our money because not everyone has the means to give, and I understand that. But we can give our time. We can sit with homeless people when we see them. We could talk to them. We could ask people their name. We can go to the grocery stores, and there's people behind the counter that are making minimum wage, and we're already collecting our stuff. There's $100 worth of stuff usually at the counter that we're getting, or $50 or $100 worth of stuff, maybe more. I see people with $200, $300 worth of stuff, and there's a lady behind there or a guy behind the counter collecting your stuff and ringing it up. We could ask them their name. Maybe a full-on conversation doesn't happen, but we could say, "Hi, what is your name?" There. If we knew, let's say the guy behind the counter, we knew was a multi millionaire. He's just doing that for fun. Maybe we would think of the person differently. We'd ask them their name because we'd be like, "Oh, what can we get from this person?" I no longer don't care. I don't care if the person's worth $5 or worth hundreds of millions, like the guy I met with. Like I just was grateful to. I just wanted to speak to someone who had that kind of money to understand like his life in a sense of like, are you happy? And he's somewhat happy of a guy. Like he really is. He's a somewhat of a happy guy. I'm not gonna say he's not happy, but he admitted that like it's not really fulfilling him to have all this stuff. Like he accumulated all this stuff and it didn't fulfill him. What fulfills him more is enjoying like other people enjoying it with him in a sense, or hanging out with someone who's in a place of presence. I think he enjoyed hanging out with me for the hours he was hanging out with me, is because I was just truly there with him, not trying to collect. I'm not looking at him as a transaction. Like, what can I get from him? I'm learning from him, and he's learning from me, and we're in a place of love for each other. He was talking about how he has so much peace in his family, and he wants that peace in his life, and how he wants me to have peace in my life, and that's really what it's about. It's about being peaceful in your life and being calm and centered in your life, regardless of what you have, to be able to appreciate people from all walks of life, from having everything to having nothing. I talk to people who are collecting bottles. There's people in my neighborhood that are collecting bottles. I try to give them bottles. But more than that, I know their names. I try to talk to them for a few minutes, and to show that like humanity, we're all here to help each other. Whether it's, like I said, talking to somebody, whether it's giving them money, whether it's sharing wisdom, time, energy, and resources, and to just appreciate the nothingness of the boring times, and to appreciate every single moment that we have here, because you never know when you're going to go. You really don't. And when you speak to people who have it all, they kind of remind you that it doesn't matter what you have, because in the end we're all the same, right? We're in the end we're all going to go. This is just a passing show. So appreciate the moments we have with whoever you're speaking to, wherever you are, whatever you have in this current moment. Again, if you're listening to this, most likely you're listening to it on a phone or a computer or a tablet. It means we're rich. You have what you have in this moment. You have it all. But remember, it's not worth anything really. What's worth it is to go inside yourself and to learn to be, and then you will see that this is the best place to be, is just to be in this moment. Thank you so much. I hope this helped in some kind of way. Hope you have a great day.